what kind of gun did young thug have, if you could remember?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling the detective that you knew that he had a gun because he kept one on him?
No, ma'am.
I wish I would have run with Thug because he got away.
No, ma'am.
Oh, come on. The Young Thug YSL RICO trial continues. We get to hear police scanner audio from the day of the car chase shooting incident. And one of the men arrested that day, named Adrian Bean, takes the stand and says no ma'am about 200 times. Boy, oh boy, is this entertaining. We have a guy on the stand, most likely committing perjury, but he's not snitching, but he did snitch like 10 years ago to this detective, and you're going to see everything towards the last half of this video. She basically reads all his statements he said to the detective and asks him if he remembers, and he says no over and over. So it's like hours of this. I have to edit it down somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but hit subscribe. Here we go. The ladies back up who processed the crime scene in the car and everything that they drove into the laundromat. What is all this shit in this car, bro?
Where that front passenger seat is, let's say, in relation to the divider between the two windows, the front and back doors.
No, not based off this angle. It would need to be dead center on the side.
Can you just explain to the jurors about the depth perception? It could distort the angle.
The depth perception can distort the angle of a photograph.
Okay.
She's taking it very literally, but
Let's look at number 158.
she just smirked right at the prosecutor. All right.
Towards the floorboard, do you see that?
No.
Zooming in on?
That's an indentation?
I'm asking you.
That's what I'm asking. I don't consider that indentation. I just consider that part of the curve of the interior of the car.
All right.
Yeah, it's carpeted.
I'm not sure the route Brian Steele's taken here, but this lady got an attitude.
Do you know what that McDonald's, we're seeing pictures from September 2013. Is that McDonald's still standing today? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So I think what they're trying to show the jury is that the detective Quinn did not get surveillance footage from the McDonald's. I haven't seen Thug today. Suit and tie on. I think they're about to play some audio from the police scanner of this situation. And I think what happens here is one of the officers literally says there's a female in the car, when other officers say there isn't a female in the car. So this lady's just a 911 dispatcher, so police scanner and whatnot.
63, 2728 Old Hayfield Road. 2728 Old Hayfield. 63, 2728 Old Hayfield Road. That's fine.
She had shots fired, I think.
Radio, got one. Got one subject. What about that?
Officer got 63. 63 is a help call for APD. So when you get a 63, every unit in Atlanta is going to go to that call.
I just shot someone. Show me some units on Cleveland Avenue in Hayville.
One unit behind the Coin Laundry on Cleveland Avenue. Got one subject down. I need one unit over here behind the Coin Laundry on Cleveland Avenue. My subject on the ground.
We're with her at the Dollar King. So far, Raider, they're gonna be 3 males so far. 312. We don't have 2 over here.
3 males detained.
301. Go ahead and put somebody down.
There's been like 20 minutes of just chaos. Police officers screaming for more units and shit. I haven't heard the description of a female yet though.
5301. We believe we got all 3.
One of the police officers saying there's 3 people. Some say 4, some say 5.
Radio raising Phoenix.
Hey, he's saying a female. Do we have a female in custody? Black female with blonde hair? All right, 5301. We know we're missing a black female with a blonde wig. Stand by for a second.
One of the police officers thought they saw a black female with a lace front wig. This is where it's going to get interesting, is Cross. Here we go.
That statement over the radio was indicating that, quote, he was shooting at someone. True?
True.
Okay. So in this case, when the officer, one officer says something to the effect of, we have 3 males so far, you would presume that's what that officer either knows or is observing at the time.
Correct.
Radio raising Phoenix.
Hey, he's saying a female. Do we have a female in custody? Black female with blonde hair? All right, 5301. We know we're missing a black female with a blonde wig.
We heard several voices there. You did hear a female voice, officer initially asking if we have a black female in custody with blonde hair. I would signify that that's what they're looking for. True?
I don't know if it's a female voice though.
Okay. But you did hear them, whoever it was. We don't know exactly which officer it was, but whoever it was, we hear them asking about if they have a black female in custody with blonde hair. You heard that?
Correct.
Okay. You tell me if I heard this correctly. Do we hear a separate voice saying we know we're missing a black female with a blonde wig?
Correct.
I mean, what a shit show. There's literally like pretty much no proof that Thug is in this car. All these officers looking for a female with blonde hair.
310, I'm be on Hayville. I'm gonna be checking the kazoo for this female. See, she would have ran back this way. On Hayville.
Saying that the female was still outstanding with a blonde lace wig up front. You heard that, correct?
Correct.
That they are looking for a female with a blonde wig of some sort, right?
Correct.
That's actually it for day 38. It was a short day. This trial is going to take forever. On to day 39. But I mean, that is just chaos. Showing that to the jury, they're probably very confused. They're not really tying anyone in the courtroom or YSL. Like, what are we doing here, bro? We got Adrian Bean on the stand, one of the guys that was arrested in that car. In the car chase. When jail calls, apparently he said Thug was in the car, like he was talking to someone in jail. Then I think he came out and said that he was lying. He was subpoenaed to testify by the state, so let's see if he snitches or not, basically.
Mr. Bean, is this the first time that you and I have met?
No, ma'am. I'm 44 years old.
And are you from Atlanta?
Hey,
Yes, ma'am.
he's from Atlanta.
I have 3 grown kids.
Did you want to speak with me?
No, ma'am.
And did you want to come in here and testify to this?
No, ma'am.
If you had not received a subpoena, would you be here today?
No, ma'am.
Did you have a vehicle in 2013?
Not in my name.
No matter whose name it was in, did you have access to one?
I don't remember.
This motherfucker's memory is terrible. Or try not to give information, try not to snitch.
In 2013, I don't really recall nothing that happened in 2013.
Well, let me ask you a more specific question. Do you recall ever crashing a vehicle into a coin laundry at Cleveland Avenue in Old Hayfield?
I really don't remember.
I'm going to show you what's already been admitted.
What is the point? Why even bring this here then? Like, just pointless.
Because I don't remember nothing that happened in 2013. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand.
You see a car, but I don't remember it.
Okay, that's fine. Is your answer the same for defendant's exhibit number 82, number 89?
He's standing on business. Quick background on Adrian Bean. Shout out Thugger Daily for these tweets. Adrian Bean has cooperated with the police in the past and given statements and stuff on jail calls that implicate himself, Thug, and DK. He's recanted these statements as lies. This guy apparently snitched in the past, low key.
Do you recognize anyone inside the courtroom?
No, ma'am.
Clearly a lie. I mean, apparently he's also told Detective Quinn in 2013 that he was friends with Thug's father. So he knows who Thug is.
Do you know a person by the name of Jeffrey Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know 2 people by the name of Jeffrey Williams? Do you know a person named Jeffrey Williams that is also called Young Thug?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you known him?
I don't know him like that. I know him just because of rapper.
I'm sorry.
I don't know him like that.
You know him just what?
Musical. Through music.
Okay. Is it your testimony that you have no personal knowledge of Jeffrey Williams known as Young Thug?
No personal dealings with him. I don't know him. Like, we don't grow up together. We didn't hang together.
When you say, I don't know him like that, but you know him, would you explain to the jury how you know him?
Music. Listening to music.
Only heard of his music. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. In 2013, did you know Jeffrey Williams Jr.?
I really don't have any knowledge about 2013, ma'am. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I don't really have any knowledge about 2013. Once I went to prison and came home from prison and done my time, everything that happened in 2013 or whatever has been put behind me and set forth. So I've been, working and just doing my thing since I came home from prison. I don't have no knowledge of nothing that happened 10 years ago.
When did you go to prison?
2015, something like that.
And when you went to prison,
And I came home 2017.
the incident that you went to prison for, what year did that incident take place?
I can't recall.
Do you recall the sentence that you got?
I don't remember from back then. And I just left everything. I've been kind of blacked out ever since then about everything that went on with me in my life back then. I suffered from Molly. I don't know if y'all familiar with that.
You said you suffered from Molly?
Yes, ma'am. I don't know if anybody in the courtroom is familiar with that. But I took a lot of back in the day.
They suffered from Molly?
Except maybe a lot of things went wrong with me and my family. So I kind of since I straightened my life out, after coming home from prison, everything had just been white blank. I ain't remembering nothing that went on back then or nothing that had anything going on with anybody else. It's just been me and my life and trying to just stay successful and free and just keep living the way I've been living in this city of Atlanta.
Would you tell the jury if you see the person that you called Jeffrey Williams, known as Young Thug, in the courtroom? Look around the entire courtroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is he located?
I mean, it's over on that side right there.
Would you describe what he's wearing so that the record properly reflects who you're talking about?
I mean, right there, suit, black tie.
And is he seated between a young lady in a yellow dress and a young man in a blue suit?
She called her a young lady? You saw her face?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, would the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant, Jeffrey Williams? Were you familiar with Jeffrey Williams on September 11th of 2013?
I can't recall.
When did you first meet Jeffrey Williams?
I can't recall.
You knew
I only know Jeffrey Williams through making music now.
Okay.
Rapper. And being in the neighborhood, surrounding the neighborhood, Cleveland Avenue, but I don't know him personally. Me and him has no dealings. I don't hang with Jeffrey Williams. I'm not a member of YSL. I'm not nothing. I don't have no parts of anything that's going on with nothing that I can recall of.
What did you call Jeffrey Williams?
Ma'am?
What did you call Jeffrey Williams? You said you knew him by his music. What did you call him back in 2013?
I never really called him anything.
When you referred to him, did you use a particular name?
No, ma'am.
If you know him by his music, what is the name that you know him by his music?
Young Thug.
Young Thug, okay. And when you said you knew Young Thug from Cleveland Avenue and the neighborhood and the community, what did you mean by that?
I said I knew him from Cleveland Avenue, in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I said I know him by his music. I never said I know him on Cleveland Avenue.
He did actually say he knew him from the neighborhood, Cleveland. He did say that.
But I said I knew him by his music. That was my statement.
Okay.
I don't remember anything from 2013 and that. I really don't have no knowledge of.
What about 2011?
I don't remember.
Do you know what kind of car Young Thug drove back in 2013?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever been hit by a car?
Yes, ma'am.
While outside of a car, been hit by another car?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times?
Once.
What happened in that time?
I really don't remember
How do you
everything
remember?
that happened.
Okay, you don't have to remember everything. Just tell the jury what you do.
I don't know the incident she's talking about where he got hit by a car, but How you forget that? There's no way. We can all agree this guy's 100% lying, right? Like, he just doesn't want to snitch.
I don't know. I'm really just so many stuff. Y'all rushing me in here so fast and start throwing stuff at me and stuff like that. And I'm trying to tell you, like 2013 and whatever happened to me in the past, since I did my time, I kind of wiped everything clean. Don't recall none of it.
When you got hit by that car, was that on September 11th of 2013?
I don't remember. The date I got hit, I don't remember.
Do you remember if it was in 2013?
No, ma'am, I don't remember.
Do you remember if you went to jail after that?
I really don't remember.
You all have been together for a while, that's safe to say.
27 years now.
Congratulations. Were you given the opportunity to call your wife? Did you call your wife while you were in Rice Street?
I don't remember.
Oh, she's bringing up the jail calls now here, where he said that Thug was in the car with them.
You don't recall whether you called your wife after you were arrested at any time in Rice Street? Do you recall telephoning your wife at all from a jail during that time?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. I don't remember. I don't recall. I mean, he's holding it down. He's not snitching, but he's committing perjury.
I don't remember that.
Do you remember ever being in that car?
No, ma'am.
Do you remember ever driving that car?
I don't remember, ma'am.
On September the 11th of 2013.
I'm just now realizing this happened on 9/11.
Do you remember being at, or let me ask you before I go there, do you know the area of Summerdale Apartment off of Old Hateville Road in Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta?
He's not gonna remember that.
I don't remember.
As you sit here now, have you ever heard of Summerdale Commons?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall being involved in an incident with Walter Murphy on September 11th of 2013?
I don't really remember.
Do you know who Walter Murphy is?
No, ma'am.
Do you know a person that you call DK?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever heard of a person?
I never called nobody named DK.
Have you ever heard of a person called? You said you never called
I never just mentioned nobody named DK.
My question to you though is, have you ever heard of a person called DK?
No, ma'am.
Tell the jury what your birthday is.
1979.
It's the month. And do you recall ever being in a vehicle with Young Thug on September 11th of 2013?
I don't recall, ma'am.
Do you recall being in that same vehicle or a Walter Murphy and Young Thug on September 11th, 2013?
I really don't recall, ma'am.
Do you recall speaking with Detective David Quinn about your time in a vehicle with Walter Murphy and Young Thug on September 11th, 2013?
Ma'am, I don't recall nothing that happened in 2013.
As you sit here today, do you recall borrowing the vehicle that is shown in Defendant's 80?
No, ma'am, I don't recall.
Or driving the vehicle depicted in Defendant's 80 while a person named Big Fred, DK, and Thug were in that same vehicle?
I don't remember.
Do you recall speaking with Detective David Quinn on September 16th of 2013?
No, ma'am, I don't recall.
Have you ever met Detective David Quinn?
I can't recall.
Did you drive any vehicle at all on September 11th?
Why did she say raggedy? Did she have the description of his car as raggedy in her notes?
I can't recall, ma'am.
Do you recall ever being inside a Taurus with Detective David Quinn that he described as a raggedy-ass Taurus?
Oh.
Do you recall being in a raggedy-ass Taurus?
Oh, he said raggedy about Detective Quinn's car.
I don't recall, ma'am. I don't remember any conversation that me and Detective Quinn supposedly have had, ma'am. I don't recall even speaking with Detective Quinn, period.
And I appreciate it and understand. But I do have to ask you, just to establish for this jury what you do and don't remember. So I have to ask you these questions, okay? Can you bear with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Do you recall speaking with Detective Quinn in an interview room?
No, ma'am.
And on September 16, 2013, could you read and write?
I don't remember, ma'am. I can't read and write, though.
Say that for me again.
I can read and write.
Recall telling Detective Quinn in September 2013 that at that time, you lived off of Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta.
I don't remember any conversation that I have had with Detective Quinn.
About going to get some codeine lean to drink on September 11, 2013.
No, ma'am.
Them boys were looking for some lean.
Do you recall pointing out Young Thug in that photograph as the person you were referring to as Jeffrey Williams?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling any police detective that Jeffrey Williams or Young Thug, DK, and Big Fred were in a car with you at the time that it shooting?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall Detective Quinn or any other police department in September 2013 offering you drinks or water or soda or something during a time that you were interviewed by them?
No, ma'am.
I mean, what she's doing right now is she's basically airing out what he snitched on 10 years ago. Like, he was talking to this detective.
And the guy, Young Thug, rolled up and said, "Hey, man, I just seen a dude with about $33,000 on him." You know what I'm saying?
No, ma'am.
Basis.
I'm not refreshing recollection.
I'll rule the objection.
Doug said he saw someone with $30,000 on them, and they were probably trying to go rob him or something.
Do you recall Detective David Quinn asking you, who are you talking about? Who's Young Thug?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall Detective David Quinn asking you, wait a minute, who is it that you said told you about seeing a dude with $22,000 or $33,000 on him?
No, ma'am.
That's what Young Thug said.
No, ma'am.
Do you recall Detective David Quinn asking you, is he the kid with the dreadlock that you be always hanging out with at McDonald's?
No, ma'am.
That Young Thug, he's a rapper. He's a rapper.
No, ma'am.
Do you recall Detective David Quinn asking you whether this person you were calling Young Thug was real skinny?
No, ma'am.
I mean, she's basically testified. This is crazy. She just asked him if he recalls it, but she's just getting everything out in front of the jury that she wants to get out. It's crazy. I mean, she's doing a good job, but...
Do you recall telling Detective David Quinn that Young Thug was screaming that he saw a guy with the money or whatever?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective David Quinn that you, Big Fred, and you all, with Young Thug and DK, go in Brian's car to see about that situation?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective David Quinn or anyone about the guy with the D and the K in his face?
No, ma'am.
We're all going in on some lean.
No, ma'am.
Do you know what lean is?
No, ma'am.
I mean, it's not a good look for the defense. I mean, this guy's lying, but I wonder what the jury's thinking.
That Thug and DK got in the back of the car you were in.
No, ma'am.
That you were driving the car.
No, ma'am. I don't recall any conversation that I've had with a detective Quinn.
That DK went around the corner and started firing some shots or something.
Nope.
Shots just go off.
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn or anyone else that when he got back, you were looking at DK like, what the hell's going on?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling anyone at APD that you asked DK, what the f*** are you shooting for? What are you shooting at?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling anyone at APD that DK got in the car and said, go, go, go?
No, ma'am.
I mean, the jury can't believe this. Like, this is definitely an L for the defense, but it doesn't really prove it.
As you pulled out, cops were right there with a gun.
No, ma'am.
That as you went out, the cops shot.
No, ma'am.
You recall telling Detective Quinn that after the cop fired a shot, you went around, boom, and hit the gate.
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective David Quinn or anyone else that you went straight across, jumped on the wall, boom, hit the other wall, boom, run into the laundromat?
No, ma'am.
Detective Quinn, that Big Fred was in fact the passenger, that DK was behind you, and Young Thug was behind Big Fred.
No, ma'am.
Detective Quinn asking you whether Big Fred was like 6'8" and 354 pounds.
No, ma'am.
Do you recall Detective Quinn asking you if Big Fred was sitting in the back seat?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling him, no, he's in the front seat with me?
No, ma'am.
Oh, so maybe Big Fred, this 400-pound man, they mistaked him for a female because he's so massive.
Do you recall Detective Quinn asking you about the guy with the money and whether Thug came to you with what sounded to him like a lick?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn the lick was dead, I guess?
No, ma'am.
You got Big Fred with a gun. Do you recall saying that?
No, ma'am.
You got DK with a gun. Do you recall saying that?
No, ma'am.
And you got Thug with a gun. Do you remember telling him that?
No, ma'am.
Them boys were out looking for that 20-30K with 3 guns.
Do you remember Detective Quinn or any other detective asking you in September 2013, Big Fred, what kind of gun did Big Fred have?
No, ma'am.
He had a 9mm Ruger.
No, ma'am.
He told him exactly which gun they had?
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that all the guns were automatic?
No, ma'am.
How it is that the younger guys liked to get their money?
No, ma'am.
Holy shit, dude. Bro was singing to the hills.
In an interview at the Atlanta Police Department, what kind of gun did Young Thug have, if you could remember?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling the detective that you knew that he had a gun because he kept one on him?
No, ma'am.
I mean, this is the detective's word. So we all have to take the detective's word that he said all this to the detective. I mean, it seems like a lot for a detective to just completely make up for no reason.
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling the detective that it was supposed to be $150 for the lien?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall saying that it was supposed to be you pay 50, Thug pay 50, and DK pays 50?
No, ma'am.
DK and Thug are down with each other?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling the detective that DK and Thug are gangbangers and that they call themselves some type of blood?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling the detective that you've known Thug's dad for over a couple of years? Do you remember the detective asking or actually playing for you a recording of a woman who was talking about having just gotten a gun?
No, ma'am.
Do you remember telling the detective that that was your wife on the recording?
No, ma'am.
He snitched on his wife? She was talking about how she bought a gun and he said that's his wife?
That you told DK and Thug to go ahead and go to the store, and that they went to the store and came back talking about a lick around the corner.
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that they came back and said, in your words, that named goddamn Red got the money?
No, ma'am.
Do you know a person named Red or who went by the name Dirty Red on September 11, 2013?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall Detective Quinn playing you at least 3 calls that you made to your wife while you were inside Fulton County Jail?
No, ma'am.
About a statement you made that one of the in the back shot by accident, probably.
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that it was probably Big Fred that got shot by someone inside the car you were driving on September 11, 2013?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that you heard like 2 shots while you were inside the car after he had lost control?
No, ma'am.
Recall responding or telling Detective Quinn, okay, listen, Thug wanted to see the lick?
No, ma'am.
that you all were in Summerdale when you all got ready and DK jumped out of the car. Do you recall Detective Quinn asking you, why'd y'all pick Dirty Red? Of all people, why did you pick Dirty Red?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn, I don't know why Thug didn't get out. It was his lick.
No, ma'am.
I don't know why Thug didn't get out. It was his lick.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that DK was Thug's foot soldier?
No, ma'am.
Do you know what a foot soldier is?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that Thug tells his foot soldier what to do?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that you yourself are no gangbanger?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall?
This guy was snitching 10 years ago. Or this detective is lying and made all this up. Come on. I mean, you never know, but this is a lot to make up. Like, this seems like it's the truth.
That Thug said, go get it. Hey, you go get it to DK. He told him, go get the money. He said, go. That's what he told him. Go take the money and come back. Do you recall Detective Quinn asking you whether Thug said that before or after you backed into the parking lot?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that you backed in and then Thug told him to go get the money? Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that DK goes and gets the money and he gets out, boom, 2 minutes later, he's popping shots?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that DK didn't even have time to take any money?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall Detective Quinn asking you, did you see who DK was shooting at?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall telling Detective Quinn that DK didn't have time to take money because he was shooting?
No, ma'am.
That one guy ran this way, another ran that way, another ran that way. And that everybody go run their own separate way.
No, ma'am.
I wish I would have run with Thug because he got away.
No, ma'am.
Bro, come on.
Or Detective Quinn asking you, which way did Thug go?
No, ma'am.
Do you remember telling Detective Quinn, me and Thug got out of the car. We jumped. We were freaking though. We were freaking out. DK couldn't move against him apparently because he was shot or whatever. Thug jumped the wall. I jumped the wall. I jumped up here. Thug went behind the Dollar King. Do you recall telling that to Detective Quinn?
I don't recall.
I jumped over in the parking lot. And as I'm running across the parking lot, that's when the police car comes and run me over or whatever.
Oh, so that's how he got ran over. He got ran over while he was running. And that's pretty much it. They just ended the court early. This guy basically snitched 10 years ago. This interrogation with this detective I don't think is recorded. So, but still, this definitely isn't a good look for the defense. I don't know, dude. It just seems like some boys were out there trying to hit a lick on someone. But does it mean YSL is this huge gang? Who knows? Comment down below what you guys think. Hit subscribe.